back on Fox 4 News with special boundary guest stars Oceanic Plate and other Oceanic Plate. They've traveled around the world to get to where they are today, and it sure took them a while. So, how are you guys doing today?
Well, we just had a big fight recently arguing about who's more important in the Oceanic Plate family. Well, here someone even got a picture of us fighting.
Okay, so this is a diagram of a convergent boundary where you have two oceanic plates. We were both getting really mad, me specifically, because I was moving away from the mid-oceanic ridge and she was making fun of me for getting colder, older, and denser.
Oh, what's making you move away?
Oh, the convection currents are being pushy and keep moving me away from the ridge. They're down in the hemisphere and they push me and other oceanic plate into a collision.
Yeah, that's called a convergent boundary. See, this just proves you're the older and denser one. When two oceanic plates converge, subduction occurs and the colder, older, and denser one goes under.
Sounds kind of painful. What else happens as a result of two oceanic plates converging?
A subduction zone forms, and right on top of that, there's a trench. Also, a volcanic island arc is created right on the other side of the trench.
Aren't the Japanese islands in the Aleutian Peninsula of Alaska examples? These are the Japanese islands. The Aleutian Peninsula of Alaska.
Yeah, those are our fault. Oops.
Well, the subduction zones might be destructive, but at least you're being constructive with the island arcs. Now...
What? Oh no! I have to go. My goldfish Pablo just had a heart attack. But I called in my cousin Continental Plate. She'll be here shortly.
I'm so
5,000 years later. I'm here! And it was a quick trip too.
Wasn't. I went from Kayla the 1st to Kayla the 50th. Anyways, let's finally start the continental versus oceanic boundary interview. I hear you and Oceanic Plate have done a lot of work together.
Continental Plate has a lot in common with her cousin. I don't like either of them because they smush me. It's not my fault I'm the denser plate and I'm always the one going under in subduction.
Well, the subduction zone always makes a trench form right above it, which is Oceanic Plate's fault. Because the Oceanic Plate pulls everything down with it. It's not my fault you're destructive.
Hold on. Two examples. The first example is the Andes Mountains in Peru. One is the Cascades Mountains. Convection currents also have something to do with this?
Yes, it was the convection current cycle of heat rising and cold sinking that pushed us into a collision.
Diagram of a convergent continental versus oceanic boundary.
Okay, I think you've given us a good explanation of the oceanic versus continental convergent boundary. Now for the last one of those. Convergent boundary interview starring Continental Plate and other Continental Plate. So, is a continental versus continental convergent boundary anything like the last two we've heard about?
Well, not exactly. In continental versus continental, we're both too buoyant for either one of us to sink.
Yes, at these boundaries we push rock together so it crumples and forms mountain ranges, like the Himalayan and Ural mountain ranges. That make this a constructive force.
Himalayas, the Ural Mountains.
I'm guessing convection currents are also involved?
The convection currents push the two plates together, just like they do for all the other convergent boundaries plates. This is a diagram of a continental versus continental convergent boundary.
Fascinating. Now that we've covered all the convergent boundary types, let's get into the divergent and transform boundaries. But before that, let's pause for a quick commercial. Can help with visualizing the convergent, divergent, and transform boundaries? Well, this commercial will be very helpful. First, the convergent boundary. Notice how the bigger bear is on a denser plate went under, just like it would in subduction. Second, divergent boundary. Last, the transform boundary.
You know it. Now, let's explain the divergent boundaries.
Divergent boundary, two tectonic plates are pushed away from each other by convection currents. Divergent boundaries also create mid-ocean ridges in the ocean and rift valleys on land. This is seafloor spreading because the plates move away from each other.
And the volcano arc created new land, pushing away the old land, causing it to spread, like here. This is the Rhine Valley in Germany. Baikal in Russia.
This is constructed because of the new rock formed, right? At least there's the transform boundaries.
Transform boundary. Plates grind past each other. The convection currents are parallel and fault lines are caused where the plates meet.
Yeah, one example is the San Andreas Fault. Another example is the Alpine Fault in New Zealand. This is a diagram of the transform boundary.
This is the San Andreas Fault. This is the Alpine Fault in New Zealand.
Thank you guys for being on today, and thanks to everyone for watching. See you all in 5,000 years. Just kidding, you'll all be dead.